Hey guys, it's Keith Doe with Line Cagefighting. We have today Collin Caprini and Skyler Mauller. These guys are set to do a super middleweight kickboxing bout at Line Cagefighting 6 on August the 14th at the Madison Civic Center. Guys, first, I just want to ask, how your training's going. Skyler, I'm going to hit you first here. What's your training schedule and how has everything been going leading up to this bout?
About every morning, the training schedule is where I hit the gym for about an hour and a half. I make trips down to Columbus so I can go train with Chad Belvins, who's a professional kickboxer. Run a mile, 2 miles every other day, at least when the weather's nice. I like it is today. To be honest, I don't have a coach or a team or anything. So, I watch some YouTube, I spar with my siblings. I find some random odds ends people that I know, like Sam's Gym up in Gloucester, West Sims up in Lancaster, and then anywhere I can get in just to fit in when I can. I mean, it's not people that's been doing it for a decade, people that's been doing it for a while with a real team, real coach. I give myself maybe too much credit, but for everyone I've ever fought against or went up against, for someone that's self-trained or been doing this on their own, they all get say I hold my own and have been one hell of a fight for them, whether I win or lose.
Yeah, I think your athleticism plays a big part of that too. I know you were football. You did track, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I was a track and field guy too. So I always said track guy. I don't know, not everybody that runs can fight, but I always thought, the athleticism comes from it. Definitely, could help you along the way for sure. Colin, I'm going to ask you the same thing. What's your training schedule like and how has everything been going thus far?
I train a lot, between 7 and 12 sessions a week, I'd say. Most days I try to train twice a day. My work schedule's nice. I mostly work 9 to 3 and another couple hours here or there, either in the night or early in the morning. So I get to train at 7 most days, and then 7 in the morning, and then also whatever the evening classes we have at Ground Zero are. So
nice.
I'm pretty busy. I'm probably sparring twice a week, I would say, consistently, but drilling definitely every day, and
that's awesome.
Stay busy.
Yeah, that's awesome. Ground Zero is definitely, one of the top, if not the top gym in the state, in my opinion. I'm not familiar with all the gyms, but I know you guys have a really good thing going up there in Morgantown.
Yeah, we have a great concentration of talent and some really, really good coaches.
Yeah. All right, guys. One more thing here, Colin. So, Colin, how long have you been in the fighting game, and what made you get into this?
I've been training for a very long time. I did Taekwondo in high school. Was never very competitive at that because I was fat and slow, but I learned a lot of good skills there. But I've been doing jiu-jitsu for almost 6 years now, so 2015, and I think I took my first MMA fight in 2016. So we've been fighting for quite a while now. Kickboxing more seriously only recently, mostly jiu-jitsu. I mean, jiu-jitsu is my first passion. I like jiu-jitsu way more than I like kickboxing or wrestling or any of the other things that I have to do because I take MMA fights. But so I've been training for quite a long time.
Yeah. And same to you, Skyler. How long have you been, fighting or training, and what made you get started in it?
My training never started until after my fight with Denzel, which was right after I turned 18, because he was my debut fight. Mm-hmm. And that was after, as soon as I turned 18, July 26th of 3 years ago, I tried to do a couple tough man. I just loved it because I got into it because it runs in the, fighting runs in the family. My grandpa was a Golden Glove boxer. My pawpaw was a Golden Glove boxer. I'm like, I might as well try it. I like street fighting growing up as a kid. Turned out in the cage, it's not the same thing.
No.
And then after mine and Denzel's fight, I'm like, okay, I need to take this a little more seriously. Started training a little bit, jumping around between place and place, working on myself and self-motivation. And then around 2019, I took about 6 months off, train on my stand-up, and then just a break. And then with everything that happened when we shut down for a year, wasn't able to train that whole entire year because nothing in Ohio was open.
Yeah.
And nothing has opened up to him recently this year. And it's just difficult working 12-hour factory jobs and then night shift. So here most things are open. When I'm sleeping or on my days off, like Saturday and Sunday, you have to do private sessions.
Yep.
I mean, I know it's not a valid excuse, but I get in when I can. I try and do what I can. You know, start out small. Some people wait 5-10 years before they go pro. Some do it right away. I'm just slow at it, I guess. But I mean, still going is all that matters and counts.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah. So what do you guys love about fighting? And you know, what inspires you to keep going? How about you, Skyler? What's your favorite thing about it?
I love it. What I love about fighting is like the adrenaline rush, like getting hit, hitting others, because like sadism and masochism, I ain't gonna lie, kind of runs in the family, and a little bit of genetics, you know, which is nice. But like, you know, just love of the sport, not the fact that you can just be all muscle and built and just go in there and think you'll slay someone. Like most people, they're 100% muscle, they get messed up. Like muscle don't mean shit when it comes to form and technique. It's almost like a chess game, and intelligence comes to play, and will and heart and spirit is like a main key priority to it. Like someone that runs a mile in 9 minutes and someone that runs it in 5. I mean, yeah, you may have more cardio and conditioning, but if he has the will to fight, then he has more of a will to fight than the fight than you. And that's a key factor into it. And it's what I love about the sport. It's one-on-one. It's you versus them. It's not a team, nobody else to rely on but yourself. And it's just a complete different world.
Yep.
That's what I love most about fighting. You have nobody else to blame but yourself.
Yep. How about you, Collin? You know, what do you love about fighting, and you know, what inspires you to keep going?
There's a lot that I love about fighting, but you know, in my other passions in life, I really like mathematics and software engineering, the kind of stuff that I do professionally, and that's kind of like high level problem solving in a purely intellectual space, right? And fighting is really the opposite. It's like high level problem solving in a purely physical space. You're chunking information as fast as possible to try to understand what's going on and make correct decisions all the time. So it's an interesting physical analog to like the engineering things that I enjoy in life. But I really also enjoy like kind of the philosophical side of fighting. There's a lot of good stuff from like the ancient samurai poets and the Greek warrior poets and stuff like that. That it's cool to be in the same field as those kind of thinkers to me.
Yeah.
And also there's an element of the sadomasochism that's definitely there for all of us. I think if we stick around fighting long enough, we don't mind getting hurt. And there's some part of everybody that enjoys hurting other people. I think it's how well you can control that and use it in a constructive way is probably a deciding factor in how your life goes. But fighting is definitely a good channel for that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. I'm gonna bring up the fight video with Skyler, Zach Dehart. Collin, I don't have any of your fights here, so I'm not going to bring. I don't have anything to bring up. But Skyler, when I get this video up, just walk us through the fight. What you're thinking. Your game plan. How did it play out? How did it not play out?
Yeah.
Here we go.
And fight's on. Here we go. And
when I was fighting Zachary Dehart, the night before fighting with him was a little difficult because my grandma passed right night before the fight. So I wanted to dedicate that win to her. I was fighting on a redemption match because my fight before him, I lost. Like I wanted to come in, I wanted to get that win. I wanted to prove that, I'm a force to be reckoned with despite how much training I lack. And in the sense that I'm a rookie in a sense, being a kid. Because I was 19 in that fight, just turned 19, and it's right after my grandma passed, and I just had all that to fight on, had all that adrenaline, all that anger from being upset from her being taken away from me too early, and I needed that win to dedicate to her, and that was my main thing and my main goal was getting that from my grandma. And then in the middle of the fight, like I like Zach, I've talked to him, great kid, great fighter. And, you know, he worked me up top and worked me on the ground some. It's just, honestly, in the heat of the moment, I don't know what's going on. I can't hear the sound around me. It's just them. Everything around me is kind of blurred.
Yeah.
It's almost like when you take a picture and everything around it is just blurred and it's just focused on them specifically. You know, I went in with a stand-up mindset against Zachary Dehart, and he's a wrestler, so I went through the ground a few times. I mean, it worked out in the end, what happened, and I feel like, you know, some of it is luck, some of it is skill, but I walk out with the win in the end, and that's all that counts. Sometimes, anyways.
Yep.
It's a learning experience in a way. Then again, every fight is, whether you win or lose.
Man, that was a scary knockout. I hated seeing him down there like that.
Yeah, he was out for a while. I was there for that one.
Yeah. That fight, that earned Skyler knockout of the night. I mean, I know that was a big night for you, you know, getting your first win. You were coming off the Denzel fight, and like you said, that was your first, well, your first fight, you know, and you started training after that. You know, then it really paid off, you know, the first fight out immediately after. So I mean, that was a big moment, and you know, I'm happy that you were able to get that win here, you know, at New Line Cagefighting. And so guys, I'm going to have just one question for both of you now. And I just want to know, you know, what does the future hold for Collin Caprini?
Ideally, I'd like to keep, I've kind of taken this fight as a means to focus on striking for a little while. My striking and my takedowns lag behind my jiu-jitsu significantly. Actually pretty good at jiu-jitsu. I'm a fairly good purple belt. But if I want to make that jump to a professional level, I really need to improve my striking quite a bit. So I'm going to keep trying to do that. In fact, I wouldn't mind, not trying to look too far into the future, but trying to get another striking match on the October card probably. And then I'm going to get ready for ADCC trials in November, which probably won't win, but at least I'll give it a shot. Yeah, and then within the next year and a half, I'd like to be a professional mixed martial artist. That's kind of the idea.
Nice. Skyler, what does the future hold for Skyler Mauller?
With this fight, like, I just want to see how I felt fighting at a higher weight class instead of having to cut weight. I lack I have little to no wrestling, no BJJ. This whole fight purpose was to see how much healthier, how much a better fighter I am at a higher weight class, being able to eat and bulk up rather than drop water weight and cutting and toning. And as well as I wanted to work on my kickboxing and my striking before I tried to go back in the cage anyways, and try and find a gym up near where I live for BJJ, wrestling, or any type of Gracie Jiu-Jitsu in general. And I'm hoping in the future, within this next couple years or so, whether it's semi-pro or something extremely small, I'd like to make a name for myself. I'd like to, not necessarily big, but just progress.
Yeah.
You know, prove everybody wrong. My purpose and spirit of fighting is because, like, I have a bad last name. Like, if people hear Mauller from where I'm from, they depict me as just a horrible person. And I just wanted to change that and prove to everybody wrong that I'm not part of that group. And which is why I wanted to do the fight and begin with, mainly because I love it, and then just to prove everybody wrong.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're doing a good job at it right now, man. I mean, nothing but respect anytime I've spoke to you, and always show up, man. Always show up ready to compete. You've made weight. I know the last few times you've been down here, man, you were in a hotel room, sauna suit, had the heat cranked up to 95, not 90, 95 degrees, cutting weight in your hotel room,
Yes,
man,
sir.
just busting it out. And then you make weight, and then you're in there on the buffet. Hardworking guy, man.
Always got to.
Yeah, always hardworking guy. Well, you guys have any last words to say? Anybody, just anything at all you want to throw out there?
Not really much. Just grateful to be able to train all the time. I have some really, really good training partners. The gym's gone through some weird transitions in the last couple of years, but it's kind of gotten more concentrated. We got some really, really good guys. I'm really lucky to have the jiu-jitsu coaches and the striking coach that I have right now. I really love, especially Eli, man. He puts a lot into the gym, and to be able to train and consistently with that guy is awesome.
Yeah. Skyler?
I just honestly can't wait for the fight because I know Denzel's been training him, and Denzel was my debut fight, and I know he has the belt now, and he kind of kicked my ass. So I know it's going to be a hell of a fight with Denzel training him because Denzel knows how I fight. He's one hell of a trainer, one hell of a motivator. I just can't wait because it's going to be one hell of a show for everybody.
What I one more question for Skyler. What was that like? You got to fight Denzel, and then Denzel cornered you in your last fight.
Yeah, actually, honestly, I loved it because that's just pure respect. There's no hate. There's no what happens in the ring and stays in the ring. And what's outside of it, it could be buddies. Yeah. And it was just great because he knows my strengths and my flaws, and he helped me with that inside the ring. Mm-hmm. And having your opponent as your cornerman honestly felt pretty good. It shows that two fighters can have perfectly good respect for one another, good sportsmanship, and even corner the other. It's a great feeling.
Yeah, he's a great guy, man.
Yeah, Denzel's awesome, man, and he's a really good corner too because he's got a very good fight IQ, but he's also very good at communicating with people and understanding what's going on in the moment. So
looking forward to seeing him fight. He's fighting Aaron Woods. He's defending his 155 MMA title. I don't know a lot about Aaron. He's coming down from Cleveland. I know, Cleveland has a lot of good fighters. So I don't know. I don't know what he's bringing to the table, but Denzel's top of the food chain in West Virginia. So it's going to be exciting. So looking forward to seeing all these fights, guys. Thank y'all for both being on here today. Look forward to seeing y'all next week.
Take care, Keith. Can't wait to see you in 9 days.
Thanks, Skyler.